West Ham have reached the point where their striker chase may be decided by one final push, with Troy Parrott still the priority but Jules Piroe suddenly sitting very close behind him. And while attention turns towards the attack, a very different message appears to be coming from midfield, where Sungu to Magassa has wiped West Ham from his social media profile just after Arne Engels arrived. Two important squad decisions are developing around West Ham, one involving the striker they want and another involving a midfielder whose position suddenly looks far less secure. So subscribe and stay with us as we break down what it could mean for the Hammers. Troy Parrott remains West Ham's prime striker target, and AZ Alkmaar have already accepted that the Republic of Ireland forward wants to leave after he pushed for a transfer. The 24-year-old was left out against Utrecht with a minor knock as questions grew around his next move. As boss Leroy Echteld confirmed that Parrott had pushed for a transfer, although he stopped short of explaining exactly where negotiations stood. That matters because West Ham are not dealing with a striker who needs convincing to consider a move away from AZ Alkmaar. The price remains a major part of this. AZ are said to value Parrott at £27 million, while West Ham's opening offer of £20 million, including the full package, was rejected. That leaves a meaningful gap and explains why another option has entered the picture. XWHU employee believes West Ham will make one final attempt to reach an agreement with AZ. That gives the next move real significance. If that final bid succeeds, Parrott remains the man West Ham have worked towards. If it fails, the alternative route is already taking shape. Parrott also arrives with serious numbers behind him. He scored 31 goals for Alkmaar last season, while his combined total for club and country reached 37. For a West Ham side trying to return from the Championship, that level of recent output makes the attraction obvious. That alternative is Jules Piroe, with Votable International claiming the London club are in advanced discussions with Leeds United. West Ham want the striker quickly, and the possibility being explored could ultimately become a loan carrying an obligation to buy. Piroe has already shown he can score heavily in the Championship. He struck 41 goals in 91 matches for Swansea, then added another 32 in 88 for Leeds United as the Elland Road club won promotion back to the Premier League. There is also a warning in his more recent record. Piroe played 16 times once Leeds returned to the Premier League and did not score. That does not remove what he achieved at Championship level, but it does show why Parrott looks like the younger and more ambitious long-term option. West Ham now appear to have a clear decision tree. Try once more for Parrott, and if AZ still refuse to move, explore Piroe more seriously with Leeds United. It is a practical approach, but supporters will naturally judge the outcome against the player West Ham originally placed at the top of the list. The Spurs Academy graduate is 24, while Piroe is 27. Parrott is coming from a 31-goal season with Alkmaar, and Piroe comes with a proven Championship scoring record. Both arguments have substance, but they offer West Ham different types of investment. Tell us which striker you would prefer to see leading West Ham, and if you enjoy clear Hammers discussion without the noise, like the video and subscribe to the channel. The midfield picture has become just as intriguing because Sungu to Magassa has removed West Ham images and references from his social media profile. His profile picture became a blank black circle with only one summer holiday post remaining on the account. That change stands out because Magassa had looked capable of taking a bigger role. After his man-of-the-match performance and goal in West Ham's draw at Manchester United last season, Gary Neville described him as a midfield destroyer, while Nuno Espirito Santo expected him to become important. The opportunity seemed even greater after Matheus Fernandes and Freddie Potts departed, with Tomas Sosik unavailable until October. Those circumstances appeared to create room for Magassa to establish himself as an important starter during West Ham's attempt to return to the Premier League. Then West Ham paid a championship record £22 million to sign Arne Engels from Celtic. That investment immediately changed the midfield picture. Magassa had been expected to get his chance, but Engels arrived carrying the weight of a major financial commitment. XWHU employee has indicated that Magassa could be sold, although it remains unknown whether the player has been pushing for an exit or whether Nuno Espirito Santo has told him he is not part of his plans. That uncertainty is important because neither explanation has been established. There has already been outside interest. Juventus, Lyon, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Marseille have all been linked with Magassa, who joined West Ham from Monaco for £17 million. That gives the club several names to consider if the situation does move towards a sale. What makes the situation more striking is that Magassa had appeared to commit himself to West Ham after relegation. He was also used prominently in the promotion of the club's new kits alongside Freddie Potts before the arrival of Engels changed the competitive balance in midfield. Edson Alvarez provides another layer to the same midfield discussion. He changed his squad number from 19 to 4 after returning for preseason, while reports from Mexico indicated that he wanted to stay and help West Ham return to the top flight. His position has since become uncertain as well. A mystery club has returned for Alvarez according to XWHU employee, meaning West Ham could still face movement involving more than one central midfielder. Engels has arrived, Magassa's future is unclear, and Alvarez also has interest surrounding him. That is a significant amount of potential change in one area. And this is where the striker chase and the midfield situation begin to connect. West Ham are not simply adding players. They appear to be making choices over who fits the squad they are building, which means every arrival can also create pressure on somebody already inside it. With Parrott, West Ham are deciding how far they are prepared to go financially before turning towards Piroe. With Magassa, the club have already spent heavily on Engels and must now decide what to do with an asset who cost £17 million only last summer. There is a clear difference between the two cases. Parrott and Piroe represent a choice West Ham still have to make. Engels is already through the door, so the consequences for Magassa are no longer theoretical. The competition in midfield has physically arrived at the London Stadium. West Ham have also been described as tough negotiators under the new regime. If Magassa is sold, the club would likely want to improve on the £17 million paid to Monaco. A loan containing an option or obligation to buy has also been presented as a possibility. The same discipline matters with the striker. Paying £27 million for Parrott would be a major commitment, but walking away too early could leave West Ham wondering whether they compromised on their main target. Piroe offers another route, particularly because his championship record is already established. For Nuno Espirito Santo, the important thing is ending the window with a squad capable of getting West Ham back into the Premier League. That means reputations matter less than suitability, and the decisions involving both attack and midfield have to serve the same objective. Parrott looks like the higher upside striker. He is younger than Piroe, has just delivered 31 goals for Alkmaar, and remains the player West Ham are expected to make one last effort to sign. The final negotiation with AZ therefore deserves to be treated as a serious attempt, not a token gesture. Piroe remains a credible alternative because his record for Swansea and Leeds United shows exactly what he can do at championship level. If West Ham cannot get acceptable terms for Parrott, moving quickly towards a striker with 73 championship goals across those two clubs has a clear football logic. Magassa is different because West Ham already know the qualities he has shown. Gary Neville saw enough at Manchester United to call him a destroyer, and Nuno Espirito Santo previously spoke about his importance. Yet the £22 million signing of Engels has changed the landscape dramatically. The social media change will attract attention, but the key football question is what West Ham decide to do next. Juventus, Lyon, Eintracht Frankfurt, and Marseille have all been linked, and any departure must make sense for a club that invested £17 million in Magassa from Monaco. So West Ham face to tests of judgment. They must decide whether Troy Parrott is worth the final financial push, and they must handle Sungu to Magassa carefully after committing record championship money to Arne Engels. Those calls could shape both the quality and balance of Nuno's squad. Keep your views coming in the comments and subscribe for more focused West Ham discussion as the squad continues to take shape.